we try and embed payments into the booking flow to provide as seamless and frictionless an experience as possible. That's a differentiator. In essence, we want to make payments intuitive, invisible, and hyperlocal.
My name is Paul Tunstall. I'm the Vice President of International for the Merchant Advisory Group. We're a non-profit trade association which gives a voice to the merchants by driving innovation, collaboration and advocacy across the industry. We're joined by Gibran, Head of Fintech for Agoda, and also Agnes, who is Head of Southeast Asia Strategic Accounts, Antom and International. So Agoda is a travel platform which has a global network, 4.5 million hotels and properties worldwide, also includes flights and other activities that you can book as well as a traveler. Agoda and Ant have been partners since 2014, initially allowing Agoda consumers to use their Alipay wallet. That's now leveraged a little bit more with regards to additional payment methods and obviously enhancing the relationship between the two organizations. It's also about financial solutions and marketing campaigns. These like-minded partners are constantly looking for ways of making travel more seamless, secure and enjoyable, whether that's leveraging tech or cross-industry practices and so forth. The complexities within the travel vertical is a lot more than other verticals. You've got cross-border, you've got the language barriers, you've got the regulation. From a merchant perspective as well, those payment landscapes, it's those challenges, the fraud risks, as well as the evolving consumer behaviors. So Gibran, how is Agoda working with Antom to create that seamless payment experience?
Sure, great question, Paul, and great to be in Singapore. As you noted in the introduction, right? So Agoda is a digital travel platform. And so if you think about it, online travel is a very commoditized space. The same hotel room that you book on Agoda, you can book on several other platforms. You can find that hotel on Google. You can actually physically walk into that hotel and get the exact same product. So it's a very commoditized business. And so what platforms like us do to differentiate ourselves is we provide an unparalleled customer experience. And we try and do that by offering local payment methods, by offering local language support, by offering localized deals. Now, from a payments perspective, our aim is to do three things. We want to offer the best coverage of local payment methods of any online platform. We have 100+ payment methods and we think we stack up pretty well. We try and aim for best in industry authentication rates, and we try and embed payments into the booking flow to provide as seamless and frictionless an experience as possible. In essence, we want to make payments intuitive, invisible, and hyperlocal.
The Antom and Agoda partnership, right? Basically, is a very much a reflection of the evolvement of the consumer expectation. As you rightly put it, localization is very important. This whole Southeast Asian market is, and that is why we have been building all these local payment methods in the past 10 over years. Travel is also a vertical that experiences higher fraud rate. Payment authentication is very important, and you have to have a more stringent parameters to authenticate the payments to safeguard our merchants. And our fraud monitoring too help our merchant prevent fraud, sending out alerts, remove all these potential fraudulent transactions totally on behalf of merchant.
If we think about the unique needs of travelers in emerging markets, what innovations do you believe will make cross-border payments truly seamless?
Emerging markets is a very, very exciting place to be if you're a payments professional, right? So if you think about it, the emerging market traveler has very successfully transcended the typical evolution of a payments journey. And they have gone from traditional financial payment methods, skipped cards, and gone straight to mobile-first alternative payments. What that means is that the emerging market traveler requires a kaleidoscope of payment methods across QR code, across buy now, pay later, e-wallets, and you even have to service the emerging market customer that wants to walk into a convenience store and make a cash payment for an online booking. As an online platform in emerging markets, you need to offer tremendous payment breadth, coverage of payment methods, At the same time, you need to stay on top of real-time payment trends. You need to stay on top of account-to-account transfers, wallet-to-wallet transfers. And essentially, you need to allow payments to be instant, borderless. It should be the same experience whether you're booking from Bangkok or Bogota.
Yeah, fully agree with you. For emerging market, diversity of payments is really important. So that is why we spend so much time building out all the local payment methods. Your over-the-counter you mentioned, and then the local wallets acceptance, and then you have your virtual account, bank transfer, and all that. So I think it's important to offer a diversity of all these payment methods in the emerging market. Government are also working closely with one another to enable real-time payment cross-border as well. So with this effort, it means that a Singaporean can now make a payment seamlessly in Thailand. Filipino can actually use their GCash wallet in Malaysia, for example.
I want to touch on AI. It's such a hot topic in our daily lives currently. Both Agoda and Antom are tech companies. First of all, Gibran, what are your views on AI? How is Agoda using that to improve not only the travel, but also the business impact?
AI is, I think, incredibly transformative for the tech sector. My personal opinion is AI is going to have three major impacts. We are a tech company. So I think the fundamental first impact is going to be how we do coding. I read somewhere that today about 25% of global code is written through AI, and it's going to cross 50% in a couple of years. And that's a trend that we see as well. What that does is it allows us to do a lot more in less time with the resources that we have. And that has benefits in terms of the go-to-market timelines that we have for new products. It augments our velocity, and essentially it supercharges our productivity. I think the other two would be in terms of customer service. So AI is able to help us provide a more personalized experience, a more personalized end-to-end support for customers that reach out to us. I think in the medium term, AI has the potential to do a lot for payment tech. So across the fraud defense that we do, recommending payment methods. Over time, I think AI is going to help make payments for cross-border travel a lot more seamless.
So Agnes, what about AI in Antom's platform? How do you ensure what you're delivering for Agoda's customers is being delivered to the travel industry as a whole?
Okay, tech and AI are a very big focus of ours in Antom. It's very much part of our DNA. So we have launched our Antom AI Copilot. So basically, this is a B2B application for our merchant to be able to seamlessly implement, orchestrate, and also optimize the payment channels that we have end to end. So think of it like GPT for your API, your settlement, etc. This helps to accelerate the timeline for a merchant to come on board to enable the payment channels, and also to cut down from the response in days, usually dealing with human merchant tech support team, to a near real-time response immediately with our AI agents. This basically elevates the experience for our merchant. It's a game changer in merchant tech support space. Agoda and Antom, we didn't jump into the AI bandwagon just because it's trending, but because we are leveraging on tech to actually help us create better travel and business impact. Beside Antom Copilot, we also have A+ Reward, which you have been using. Basically, our AI digital marketing solution is effective in driving user acquisition and also drive engagement rates for your consumer to convert that into payment to you. And then Antom Shield, which is our AI risk solution, which you mentioned that's also an important part of your business. This solution basically use AI to help you block fraud and also to study the pattern to prevent future occurrences. We also have another product called the Antom Payment Orchestration. And this is basically a routing solution, AI-driven. This helps merchants to find the best cost-effective way of accepting payments.
Fast forward 5 years. What's the ideal travel payment experience look like? What do you think needs to happen to make the vision a reality?
So ongoing payment tech will actually help make payment more seamless and secure. And that's through interoperability, cross-border payment tech that will make it easy for payments to be done cross-border, and tokenization of cards using facial recognition or voice recognition and all that. This will help to make transaction more secure as well. So all this ongoing will have to be part of it to make this happen. And in 5 years' time, connectivity will be a common thing on all flights. So basically that means you can still do your shopping online, on your mobile, or through your flight entertainment systems in 5 years' time, judging from how we are going now.
To look to the future, I take inspiration from the past. So if you look at the journey of embedded finance and embedded payments, one of the seminal moments was when the ride-hailing companies started embedding payments within the booking flow. And it coined the phrase, payment should be as simple as closing the door of your Uber. You book a car, you complete the ride, close the door, and payment is done. Now, in 5 years, that's where I would like travel payments to be, where it should be as simple as tapping your hotel key card or snapping on your seatbelt before takeoff. You shouldn't have to think about it. It should be seamless, organic, intuitive.
Just to add from a merchant's perspective, right? They want to have that great travel experience for the consumers, but it comes with real world complexities. The areas that a merchant has to manage, right, is things like higher cross-border fees, you've got the chargeback risks, you've got the fraud, and it's all while managing that is also managing the expectations of the consumer experience, which is continually rising from a merchant's perspective. When I think about that and the emerging payment innovations, are you betting on that's going to drive that big leap in travel payments going forward?
We're obviously excited about tokenized payments, the security apparatus that brings, the product possibilities that creates. Virtual cards has pretty much revolutionized B2B travel payments. But I think the next big leg is really going to be solving for in-destination travel spend. If you think about it, when you book your flight, your hotel, your ground transportation, your activity, you're able to pay an online provider like us through payment methods of your choice. But when you go in destination into 190 plus countries around the world, that is where you still have friction. Now, as payment professionals, we have that idealistic scenario of my payment method works everywhere, but that's not reality, right? And sometimes the FX is a killer.
O2O, online to offline, you'll be that will drive things forward. So basically, besides seamless cross-border payment and all, technology like QR, NFC on both cards and wallets, on soft POS, in-person payment, all this, and biometrics, tokenization are expected to play a very large part in the travel sector. So in-flight payment, like I mentioned earlier, now enable you to buy your duty-free, your shopping, or maybe if they have not booked a hotel as yet, they can actually do it in-flight. And all of this is where the soft POS will come in, consumer to be able to tap and pay on the device itself, either on their mobile or on the in-flight entertainment system. I think it's interesting that we don't talk about AI as in something that's in the future, but AI should already be part of our company's strategy, right? To become more efficient and that can turn and drive into bigger impact for our consumer.
I'm going to move on to disruptive forces, whether it be technological, regulatory, or behavioral. What do you see having the greatest impact on travel or travel payments, and how are you positioning to navigate those?
So I think the forces you mentioned, right, are the ones that we need to watch out for. So regulation is key. We're talking cross-border global travel. There's a lot of regulatory trends to watch out for, PSD2, PSD3, open banking, data privacy. The fact is it's a very fragmented regulatory market in the emerging markets. I think the other major trend is technology. So with AI, with blockchain, etc., it's really reducing the barriers to innovation. And then finally, the emerging market traveler has evolving behavior. There is breadth of payment methods as we discussed, but also they're getting more savvy about what they want. They're getting more savvy about the FX rates that they charge. And they want a travel experience which is as simple as closing the door of their Uber. So we really need to do something about making the travel experience as smooth as tapping that hotel key card.
Travel has always been a very resilient, adaptable and agile industry. Innovation, collaboration within industry, these are important, as well as international regulatory framework that exists to actually help this industry to facilitate better cross-border and linkage, and also to make it easier for them to travel. Environment factors may also prompt regulatory behavior and tech change, like hotel and airlines, now that they want more flexible payment methods, for example, payment link, for example, soft POS, to be able to do a tap and pay in-person payments. That being said, travel merchants has always been in the forefront of changes, and the way to counter this is to deal with these changes more quickly and more securely. Even if there's any challenges, we'll weather it together.
Cross-border has definitely come up multiple times today, as well as emerging markets. There's certainly an exciting view for the future of how technology will evolve, whether it's AI, whether it's other innovations, to help bring along the customer journey and help merchants like Agoda and service providers like Antom. Thank you for joining us today. And here's to exploring more destinations and payment innovations. And I look forward to how Agoda and Antom will shape the future of payments.